Ahoy, you are live listening to Tony Milazzo, live and on board. And my guest today in Marina Del Rey Harbor is comedian, author, actress, and much more, Vicki Wagner.
What's up, Tony? Happy to be here.
I'm glad you are here. How do you feel about coming out here to the water today?
Loved it. Anytime I can get out of West Hollywood and come down towards the ocean and see all these beautiful boats, it's a good day for me.
Good, good. I'm glad to have you.
Yeah.
Vicki pulled up on her motorcycle today.
I sure did. It was a nice ride over here. Nice sunny day. Wind in my face.
Yeah, cool.
I'm riding a Suzuki Intruder 800.
Nice.
It's like kind of like it looks. People think it's a Harley, but it's not. It's got about a $20,000 less price tag.
Oh, okay. Nice bike, though. It's red.
Yep.
Yeah, it was red. Red bike. And you looked like a natural pulling up on it.
Yeah, I've been riding since 1994.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. That's years.
Long history.
Save a lot on gas, too. Get every place quicker.
Yeah, I save a lot on gas, but I also can get places faster. And this summer, I've been riding my bike so much. And when I'm in a car, I'm like getting impatient because, you can't cut through the cars or you have to wait. You have to wait for everybody to go. And since I've been on my bike so much, I'm used to just going around the side, and just going. And I can I can also ride in the carpool lane by myself on a motorcycle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, motorcycles are allowed in the HOV lane, so...
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait for everybody.
No, I do not.
In this crazy LA traffic. So you can get gig to gig pretty quick, huh?
I just go around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well, you're always gigging everywhere.
Yeah, I try to. I tried to. I just was at the Comedy Store this past Friday night in the main room.
Great.
And actually tomorrow, or, I'll be this week, I will be at Michael's Bar and Grill in Burbank and a couple other places.
Yeah, you get around. I did a show with you at Shore Bar last week.
I know.
And that was fun.
That was fun. Right on the water right there.
Yeah.
It was nice. And we went, before the show, we went to the super cool place right next door called Patrick's Roadhouse. Have you been there?
Oh, yes. That is a cool place.
I saw a ghost.
Did you really?
I did. In my picture, I didn't see it in my eyeballs. But when I took when I took the picture, because I was just like, look at this place, it's so kitschy, you know what I mean? And I took the picture, and in the picture, the ghost showed up. It's like, and the guy told me that the bar area was a 121-year-old train station lobby.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was
I bet you a lot happened there.
I bet a lot did.
Uh-huh.
It's right next door. It's on the next street. So for your listeners that know where the Shore Bar is in Santa Monica.
And you would say ghost pictures.
Yeah, that's right.
You just go over there.
That's right.
I'm gonna take you. We're gonna have to do a show either on the old Queen Mary or somewhere on a ghost ship and take you with us with your camera and your ghost hunting skills.
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I just was on a show that had a psychic on it, a lady who was a medium. And I've been told this by every psychic medium. They said spirits congregate around me. So when I go someplace, there's always spirits with me. Oh, okay. Which is good luck, bad luck, who knows, you know?
Yeah. Maybe you got somebody watching out for you.
Right.
Who knows?
Right.
I have not seen or experienced ghosts, but once in a while I feel certain things like a chilly spot in a room or where and nobody else feels it and stuff like that. But
well, I grew up in a haunted house. A severely haunted house.
Oh, did you?
Severe, yes, for 14 years. As a matter of fact, the people who lived there before not me, but my parents bought it, I was 7, they actually sold the house for $150,000 less than what it was worth just to get out. The guy had 3 heart attacks, open heart surgery. The whole area was haunted. The people next door, the guy died of a heart attack. The other guy next door shot himself in the head.
Did you get blamed for any of the weird things that happened in the house when you were a kid or anything like that?
I don't recall, but it was so haunted that I don't think that they would have thought, stuff used to happen, like plates would fly out of the cabinets and, like rocking horse would just start off by itself. And of course, electricity would go on and off. And we had our house for sale like the whole time we lived there. And every time somebody come to look at it, the house would do something and scare them away.
Wow.
So we finally just moved out.
Vicki Wagner, the ghost whisperer.
That's right. That's right. I wish I could whisper, get out.
So besides your comedy, I know that you wrote a book. Is the book anything with ghosts? What are you doing?
No. Actually, I thought about my mom's the one that should write the book about the ghosts because, I was young, when we first moved in there and she really experienced most of it, but she said she won't do it. But I'm like, okay, because it was like the real life poltergeist, honestly. But my book is it's called Get a Date Today, How to Market Yourself for Love. And it's basically people get on the internet trying to find love. They have no idea how to market themselves. And then they wonder why they can't get a date. They're like, well, I'm on the internet with these other 45 million people in the United States online. And they can't get a date because their marketing skills are lacking.
Oh, okay.
You know, so it teaches you from start to finish exactly what you need to do
To get hooked up.
to find the one for you, not
right
just to
one.
get a
Okay.
date. I mean,
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
get a ton of dates.
Oh, yeah, especially in L.A.
Yeah, you could get a ton of dates, but I mean, how to find someone
right
who's
one.
That's right, the one that's right for you.
Yeah.
By writing in a certain manner.
Oh, okay.
So most people don't know that.
I need to read this book.
Yeah. Most people don't end up with the right person because they themselves don't know what they want. Seriously, they don't. They have no clue what they really want, and they don't know why. You know, some people be like, "Well, I don't want a guy who smokes, or I don't want, this or that." I'm like,
So you
okay.
have to be detailed. You
Gotta
really
be
have to
detailed.
hone in
Yep.
on what it is that you want. That's probably it, because people like the idea of having somebody or a boyfriend or
Right.
a girlfriend or a relationship, but it's just an idea. It's not, they didn't sit down and think it out.
No, they didn't. You're right. Exactly what you just said. People are in love with the idea of being in love. And so they'll just take the first thing that walks through the door and be like, oh, do you love me? Okay, yay, let's get together. And then 3 weeks later, they hate each other.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, the way we normally meet people that we like, we walk up to somebody, we see them, we're either attracted to them or not. Sometimes you go home with them or not,
Right.
and then it starts off as, you could even have a physical attraction for somebody and you could even have great sex with them, but they're completely wrong for you.
That's the blizzard.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? They say sex is the blizzard.
They said it's the hardest bond to
You
break.
can't see through any of it.
No, you cannot.
It could be the only thing you have in common even, right?
It's most likely is the only thing you have in common.
Yeah.
It's
Because
good.
I think about it, for me, I'm a sailor, right? I
Yeah.
love to sail. I'm bi-coastal. I move around a lot. I do comedy. Would have to be somebody okay with
Flexible.
travel. Sailing's a big one. They got to be physical.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you start to think about it, you really narrow it down.
You're
Is
right.
it too narrow, though?
No, it's not too narrow.
Because
No,
that's
it's
what
not.
I thought about
Nope.
when I internet
No.
dated. Am I narrowing it too much? Like, they have to be physical. They have to be able to sail. They got to be between this and this height. They got to be between this.
The
age.
height, you should let go of the height.
Yeah.
The height, you gotta let go of.
'Cause
height, hair color.
I was always with tall girls, though. I'm short,
Yeah.
so I was always with big, tall girls, because in New York, all the tall girls like short guys, and the short girls are
Do they?
tall guys. Yeah.
I didn't
so
know that.
until I got here, I never dated any girl that was under 5'10" or 6 foot. till I
Really?
got to LA.
You're kidding me.
And dated short girls, and I was like, wow, this is different. The short girls like me out here. This is...
You would think, because they don't want to be looking too obvious that they're that much taller than you.
I don't know. I enjoy the climb, though. I don't mind them being...
I bet. I mean, like, where would you end up on it? Right at boob height, right?
It depends where I'm climbing to.
Exactly. I got a short girlfriend, actually. She's 5 feet and I'm 5'8". But you want to know what happens to me? I get a neck ache looking down all the time. I'm not kidding either. It's the truth. I'm like, oh, you need to look up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
So she likes that you're tall, though, probably.
yeah, most of her girlfriend, I mean, when you're 5 feet, almost everybody's taller than you.
Right.
So I've never actually been with somebody that short, but we've been together 5 years, so
Great.
it works. I usually will sit down when we're talking and have her stand
Yeah.
so that I'm kind of at eye level, because it does. I'm not kidding. I have a small dog, too, so I feel like I'm looking down all day.
Did you meet her on the internet?
I sure did.
There you go.
You wanna know what-
Okay, testimonial right there.
Well, a funny thing that happened was I'm the kind of person I believe in the fastest way to get over somebody is to sleep with somebody else. But
transfer.
I know. I needed a transfer. I needed a
Women are all
transfer.
that- Men don't do that.
Yes, they do. Come on, come on, come on.
Men don't do that.
It's just like the old saying, women are like buses. There's always another one around the corner sooner or later. Right? No, what happened was I had this girlfriend and I decided to write this book. I went to a class that, I wanted to be a motivational speaker. And they say you have to be an author about something. And what can you teach people? I'm like, I could teach people how to get a date. I could teach anyone how to market themselves. And so I'm like, okay, that's what's in demand. People want to know how to find love. They want to know how to get laid, whatever. And so I'm like, okay, it started off as a joke, Tony. It did not even start off, I was going to write this book. I wrote the book. It's 285 pages. So anyway, I had this other girlfriend that I'd been dating. We broke up. I met some girl at a party. Did my transfer with her.
Right.
But then I started online. I started writing a section in my book of exactly how you should write your profile. And I thought, well, I better make sure this works before I say it's going to work. So I joined up on a dating site, put the ad out there. That night I got like 60 responses from that paragraph. But my current girlfriend now is the first person to write back. And I wasn't interested in her because she lived too far away. I'm like, I'm not going to date you. I've got like a 20-mile radius. I mean, we live in L.A. If we go 21 miles, that's too far. You know, I'm not spending an hour to go get a date, you know.
Right.
And so she lived too far from me, and but she kept pursuing me, and I would just write her one-liners back. And that went on for like 2 months, and then finally there was an opportunity for us to meet. And we met, and we have been together ever since. And it's like the first time that's ever happened. I hadn't lived with anybody in 14 years. I'm a very independent person, but it works out for us because she travels a lot. She's in Sacramento right now.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
So perfect.
So we're gone for 2 weeks.
Right.
What are you doing later? I heard what they said. Short man, tall man.
That's right. That's right. Okay, we're going to have to go for a sail maybe. I said we weren't going sailing. Now we're going sailing.
I know, and there's plenty of booze on this ship right here.
Oh, you see that, huh? I put all the bottles next to the guests just in case.
Vodka, that's what I drink right there. I see this huge bottle. We got like 4 bottles of vodka. We're good.
We're going to have to get you a shot going here.
Yeah, we're going to have to do a toast.
All right. Sounds good. So
what's the name of the sailboat?
Bella Notte.
Bella Notte?
Beautiful
Okay,
night.
we're going to do
Beautiful
a toast on board the Bella Notte.
That's right. So you'd be willing to come back and do a little cruise and we'll record the next show out at sea during sailing.
Hey, there you go. We can do that, or we can just have a fun day.
Oh, there you go.
Let's have a play day.
There you go. So now this book, before we get off the subject of the book, where can they find it?
You can find the book online. There's actually 2 versions of book. I wrote 2 versions, one for straight people and one for gay people. They're about 85% the same, but at the end of the day, gay people and straight people, you know, they're mainly looking for the same thing, but at the end of the day, they're about 15% different in, you know, what they're looking for. All the basics are the same.
But that's neat that you have 2 versions of the book.
I wrote 2 versions, and they can go to get...
Versions.
Yeah, virgins. If you're a virgin, you might have more luck. You put that in your profile. No, don't do that. Don't do that. And but you can find them. It's exactly the way it's spelled. GetADateToday.com or GetAGayDate.com.
All right.
Right, and they can download the book. It's a downloadable ebook.
And they could probably just Google you and find all kinds
You
of stuff.
can Google
and those
it.
books,
That's right. Yep.
Okay. So
yes, you can. Vicki Wagner. GetADateToday.com or author, comedian. All my stuff will come up.
Good.
So.
And we touched a little bit on you in your younger days. We were talking about the ghosts. And, growing up with ghosts. Besides ghosts, who else did you grow up with, and how was that?
Well, you know, I ride a motorcycle because, you know, my dad, you know, he was in a motorcycle club.
Oh.
Yeah, I grew up around Harleys, and I grew up around guys with long beards and tattoos, like before tattoos were in vogue, you know what I mean?
What's he think about you riding a Suzuki, though?
You know, I mean, he saw it, he likes it, but, you know, I mean, he's always had Harleys, but, you know, when I first got my bike...
Does he call you names? Rice Rocket?
No. He's cool about it. And so I grew up around motorcycle guys my whole entire life. I've been around motorcycles my entire life. Yeah. I've seen my dad and his friends work on them. They call them grease monkeys, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And, you know, back in the day, if you were in a motorcycle club, you're a blue-collar person. And, you know, It wasn't like today, like where every CEO wants to be riding on his Harley once a year, you know, for show.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, these guys really, they were the real deal.
Are you mechanically inclined? Can you take your bike apart or fix your bike?
I don't. I mean, but I mean, I can remember my first vehicle was a 1977 Ford Ltd. Do you know what that looks like?
Oh,
it's a big car. Big. It was like $500, right? Well, it had the old days. You could open up the car, and remember the carburetor used to be on top in a circle?
Oh, yeah. Everything.
Well, there was like a flywheel on it, and my dad taught me because it would stall all the time. Take that off, turn this knob, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You stick a screwdriver in there, whatever, and he taught me how to fix my car all the time.
Okay.
And back then, you could work on engines. Nowadays, it's all you cannot. You cannot get into a car engines without, you know, being computerized or whatever. So I've never worked on my own motorcycle personally, no.
So you have a little bit of an accent, I feel. Now,
yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from Chicago.
Oh, all right.
I'm from Chicago. I've been out here for 15 years, and people say I still have it. I don't hear it, but...
I could hear it a little bit.
Can you? Well, I hear your accent.
I don't have one.
You know what, you sound more to me like me than some other people, because some people sound, and I don't know about you, but out here they say apricot. It makes me crazy. Yeah. It's apricot. I'm like, look how it's spelled. It's apricot. They're like, it's apricot. I'm like, it's not apricot, it's apricot.
Yeah, when I start the show off and say Marina Del Rey Harbor, it's a tough one. I'm going to have to drop the harbor. It's the Jed giveaway.
As a matter of fact, the other day at the show you were at, I told a joke that I usually tell, but because it was loud in the bar, my girlfriend Kimberly said, your joke got lost because I say ma. Because I say, you know, when you're gay, people always ask you, so what do you two really do when you're alone together? And I said, ma, that's kind of personal. And then she said they didn't get the joke because people are used to mom. That's kind of personal. They want me to say mom because they don't know what ma is. She goes, we don't say ma out here.
Yeah, it could have been a thrown away.
I know. That's what she said. She says, you got to say mom. I said, all right, I'll emphasize mom, even though I call my mother ma. I mean, that's Midwest, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so writing, you wrote the book. You also do a lot of script writing or any sketches or anything like that?
Actually, years ago, I took a couple sketch comedy classes and joined a couple groups and, did the whole, improv, sketch comedy. I went that whole entire route. And I actually almost wrote a screenplay, but I've taken a couple of screenplay classes and just, I've joined a few writers groups and everything like that, but I've never produced any movie or anything like that. I used to, my background, I don't know if you know this, but my background is actually in television. That's how I got to California. I went to the Academy of Television and Radio Broadcasting in Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
That's where Casey Kasem sent his son.
Oh, right. Love Casey Kasem.
Yeah, and so I went there, and I got a job right away at UPN, the United Paramount Network. I think it's called the CW now.
Right.
And but UPN used to be, it was the Big Five. They call it the Big Five. There was only 5 big networks, and I worked at UPN right out of school. And then I moved here, and I got a job working for the news, and I worked for the Orange County News Channel. I got a job offer from Fox in San Diego, and they were paying $4 less than the news channel was, so I'm like, I'm going for the money.
Nice.
So that's how I ended up here in California.
Right. That was one of my first jobs was news.
Yeah.
Yeah, news radio.
You kind of want to kill yourself after a while. Everything's so depressing, Tony.
Oh, yeah, just...
Oh, the news is bad news.
Oh, yeah.
There's no good news. It's all bad news.
Then they gave me politicians to interview. You know how that can go after 2 or 3 years of just interviewing politicians.
Yeah, it's all a bunch of bullshit, right?
Oh, my God.
Liars and telling you what they think their constituents want to hear.
Yeah. One of them told me I was really drunk, calls me up. I was really drunk last night when we recorded that piece. Can we redo that today?
You're like,
I said some things I shouldn't have said.
You're like, sucks to be you. Hey, there's a new, it's funny because there's did you see that new show on Netflix with Kevin Spacey? It's the political show.
No.
It's Jack of Cards or something like that. What's it called? House of Cards.
Haven't seen it.
Oh my God, they're so you got to see it. If you used to interview politicians, they did stuff like that. They would set people up just to go get drunk and do an interview to ruin their careers. And
oh wow, House of Cards falling down.
Yeah, it's a nasty show. It's a nasty show.
I'm gonna have to check that
If you
out.
watch it, you cannot oh my God, you can't believe that they're so vindictive. They're just so nasty. That's all I can say.
All this reality shows too. I really had enough of all the reality and the nasty shows.
Well, they're not that nasty. I mean, they're nasty as in they are mean mother effers. You know what I mean? Like they will do whatever to stab you in the back to get their way.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be based on how politics really is. But no, I'm not into reality shows. I'm not a reality show watcher. I think I saw Honey Boo Boo for like 10 minutes and said, I can't believe people are actually wasting 30 minutes of their life watching this.
What kind of stuff do you watch? What do you like to...
I like stuff like that. I mean, I love Dexter. I was watching Dexter. I love Dexter. That's on Showtime. I love House of Cards. That's on Netflix. I actually just got into a new series on Netflix called Orange is the New Black. And it's about some lesbians that went to prison like, yeah, right, and there's actually some girl-on-girl action. So that's really why I tuned in, to be honest. Let's be honest here, folks. Let's be honest.
I think I want to tune in for some of that.
Yeah. And so it's actually turned out to be pretty good. The first few episodes were slow, but after that. But I'm that kind of, of course, back in the day, I liked Lost,
Oh, yeah.
24 with Kiefer Sutherland, I like action adventure. Of course, Boston Legal when it was on back in the day. But I watch everything on Netflix now, like right straight through.
Right.
I don't just sit there and wait for the next week.
I can't stand commercials.
I can't wait. I can't. Everything I watch is on my DVR. Every last thing. Like I won't even watch TV unless it's on my DVR. Like if there's something on and my girlfriend's like, I'm going to watch this, I'll go record it and we'll watch it in a half hour when all the damn commercials are done.
Okay, so you're a killer headliner, okay?
Thank you.
Who are your inspirations? Who did you watch? Who inspired you?
Well, back in the day when I was growing up, when I was young, my cousin got a hold of a copy of Eddie Murphy's Delirious. And we would literally go downstairs in the basement and we would listen to it and it was on an album, remember?
Oh, yeah.
An album, 33 LP albums with all the crackles and everything. And we would listen to it over and over, and then we would act out his routines.
I wasn't around back then, but...
Like do you know Delirious when he did it? Like, all right, Norton, when I say bend over,
Yeah.
start,
Goonie Goo Goo, that one, right?
Goonie Goo Goo, yeah. I got some ice cream, you got no ice cream, one lick, psych.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we just watched, we loved it. So, I mean, over and over and over, just cracked up. And then, of course, we'd watch Saturday Night Live when we were kids, if we could stay up. Back in the day when Gilda Radner and John Belushi were on, like my mom would let us stay up, and we'd be like, oh, we could barely stay up to watch it. But my aunt used to come over, and she used to love Rosanna Dana. And so she would act it out over and over with Jane Curtin when, I don't know if you ever saw the episode where Rosanna Dana was telling Jane Curtin she saw a big giant butt. She's like, I looked down the highway and there was a big butt, and I never forgot it, because you're a kid. You're like, she said butt, on TV. And, but when I got a little bit older, I really liked Richard Pryor. I loved Richard Pryor. And I kind of, Rodney Dangerfield, he was funny, of course. He got no respect. And then fast forward to, not so long ago, I really loved Lewis Black. He just rants and raves.
Now, you named all men comics.
Yeah, well, there wasn't a lot of female comics back then.
No.
People, we didn't watch, there wasn't a comedy channel where you could watch, a comedian, and we didn't have pay cable. Remember back then they had like something called On TV, and there was like one channel you could watch to get like, R-rated comedy.
So who's your favorite female comic?
I would have to say, it's interesting. I like Wanda Sykes a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I like black comedians. I don't know why. I do. I like that black comedians can just say whatever I wish I was black. Some days I look in the mirror, I'm like, I wish I was black. And then I could say so much more, because I love Cat Williams.
Oh, yes.
I love Cat Williams. He's so hilarious. If your listeners, if they haven't, just watch him once. I love Cat Williams. I love, Richard Pryor.
So since you mostly picked men and talked very little about the women, do you tend to agree with what some male comics say? I've heard some male comics when you're in the green room hanging out before, I go out, and they'll say things like, well, women aren't as funny as men. Or women aren't funny.
I don't agree with that.
And I don't agree with that.
I do not.
I hear that when I book shows. I'm now 50-50, because it's usually 6 men, 2 women on a lineup.
Right.
Now I'm more 50 to 70% female.
Wow. Good for you, Tony.
And some of the funniest comedy I've ever heard is female. Well, to me. Maybe that's just my sense
current
of humor.
females, I like Amy Schumer. I like Amy Schumer.
Oh.
I like Wanda Sykes. I just don't have... there wasn't a lot of access to female comedians. They're not on TV as much. They just do not put female comedians on TV as much, because what happens is male comedians get a young guy. Look at Dane Cook. He got a young high school, college crowd, and, they just follow him. worship. I mean, look at Andrew Dice Clay. Was what he was saying really funny? Oh, Not really. I mean, those were jokes I already heard that he was already telling. Mm-hmm. And but he was the biggest arena sellout comic of all time. Oh, yeah. Why? Because guys want to hear dumb stuff. They want to like, oh, burp, fart, whack off, let me jack it, and that's what guys talk about all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was getting a blowjob, or what do you need? I need a sandwich. I mean, that's their joke, and they want to laugh at that.
Yeah.
And then when they see a female comedian, I think what happened is when I first got into comedy, I took a comedy class. Because I'm like, everybody kept telling me, you're so funny, you should be a comedian. But I didn't know how to translate that to being on stage.
Right.
So I had someone actually guide me the right way and say, you should take a class. And when we took the class, the first thing the lady said was, I could teach anybody how to structure a stand-up routine. I cannot teach anybody how to be funny. You're either funny or you're not. But I'll teach you how to structure your material. Right. And she said, and another thing, if you were a female comedian and a male comedian, and you guys do the exact same material, the people will laugh at the male more than they will laugh at the female. Because they don't want to hear some of that stuff come out of a female's mouth. They said, so you're a woman, you already got an uphill battle.
Wow.
So
that explains maybe why the lineups are more male-based.
Well, more men go into comedy because I think men are more, comedy is really like a loner type world. You got to go out by yourself. You're sitting in a club by yourself. You got to meet people you've never met by yourself. You got to hang out, stay late, deal with back in the day with people smoking cigarettes and drinking booze and getting drunk and saying whatever they want. And most females, they don't want, guys I think they're okay with that lifestyle, and I don't think many females are willing to go into that lifestyle.
Right.
It's a hard lifestyle.
Oh, yes.
And, I'm a kind of, I was in the Air Force. I was in the military, so I'm very independent.
Okay.
I joined boot camp when I was 18 years old and left my home, I left my family, so it wasn't like I've ever been afraid to try new things.
Right. Let's talk more about that, too.
Fine with me.
Air Force, huh?
Yes, I was.
Very elite.
I was just at the Veterans Hospital today, actually.
Oh, great.
Because I got hurt when I was in the Air Force, so I get socialized health care. I get free health care for the rest of my life from the VA.
How awesome is
And
that?
I got a lady.
Oh
yeah, a lady rear-ended me a couple years ago. I had a really nice Mercedes. I had it for 3 weeks, Tony. Brand new Mercedes, silver, gorgeous. Bam! This lady rear-ends me from behind. But I had been looking over my back. I was looking backwards because I was backing out of a parking space, and she had floored her car going backwards down the aisle. Like she wasn't even driving down the aisle. She just saw a homeless person there, put her car in reverse, and boom, hits me, right? So on my neck, I got problems with my neck, so I go for physical therapy now. Yeah. So this morning I was at a physical therapy appointment before I came to see you.
Good. You feel better?
I feel good. Just get a little massage, get a little electric stimulation.
All right.
But yeah, I was a command post controller in the Air Force. I had a top secret clearance. We played war games all the time.
Oh, great.
I was on a strategic air command base, which means we had nuclear weapons. So on my base, we had B-52 bombers, KC-135 tankers, and
wow.
And my actual job was we played war games all day.
How many years were you?
I was in the Air Force 2 years, and then I got kicked out for kissing a girl. I did.
Wow.
Yes, I did. I got kicked out of the military.
Isn't this don't know, don't tell?
Well, that was before.
So now you tell when you kiss? I mean,
no, we never told
so
anything. It was before don't ask, don't tell.
So you got caught kissing?
Somebody reported me. Yeah, it was a big deal because I had a boyfriend at the time too. So I'm like, so what? I kissed the guy the last night. Now I kissed a girl. Is there a problem? You know what I mean?
So what was the problem?
I slept with the married guy. Isn't that more of a problem? That's fraternization.
And
nope, they didn't care.
Wow.
So you can blow a married guy, but you can't kiss a single girl.
Wow.
Yeah, so because I had a top secret clearance, I was a security risk to our country because I could be blackmailed.
How long ago was this?
That was 1990.
Really? Mm-hmm. Has anything really changed since then?
Well, yeah, Barack Obama got elected to be the president of the United States, and there was a congressman, I think, from the East Coast who sponsored the bill to allow gays in the military, and finally he signed it 2 years ago.
So now that would not be a risk of any kind?
No, it would not. You can be gay in the military now. I'm going to clap for that.
Right.
Because, I was put through a 9-month-long investigation and, forced to work with criminals and got my pay decreased and lost my benefits. I paid for the GI Bill. I did not get the GI Bill. I did not get any of the money back from paying for the GI Bill. I didn't get anything from it. The good news is my commander, when they first started investigating me, was pregnant. And so, her secretary was pregnant. Mm-hmm. She was pregnant as well, but her secretary just had her baby and went on maternity leave. So they didn't, at the initial part of my investigation, they're like, well, you can fill in and be a secretary for the commander. And I did for 3 months. And I got an opportunity to know the commander, who gave me my discharge status. And so she got to know me. She said, I don't know if you're gay or not. It doesn't even matter. You're an outstanding airman. You're an excellent worker. And she gave me an honorable discharge. So that's how come I have my benefits at the VA right now.
That's excellent. At least they didn't take that away from you.
I know, right? So it sucked.
No, that's...
And anybody who, I was thinking about it because I just went and saw that movie, The Butler, and it was about the civil rights movement. And it was the plight of the black people in this country. Right. And I'm not going to say African Americans because there's a lot of black people who aren't from they're not of African ancestry. They're from Jamaica, they're from Cuba, they're from all over the place. Yeah. And Haiti, I've got a lot of friends who resent that term. And so I thought about it, and I thought, you know what? They should do some type of a movie on the plight of gay people in this country based on the discrimination and harassment that we've suffered and all the bullshit we've had to go through, gotten beaten, tortured. During the era of, the Nazis, everybody wants to think it was just the Jewish people went to concentration camps. No, it wasn't. They they took all the homosexuals, rounded them up, and that's why they got stamped with the pink triangle. That's why the pink triangle is the symbol for the gay community. Most people don't know that. We've been persecuted since whenever.
Right.
And it's stupid because some of the greatest leaders of all time have been gay. I mean, look at Alexander the Great. He was a gay man. Hello, you know?
So you are very involved in the gay movement, or?
Well, it's so funny you say that because my mom called me yesterday and she was saying something about some gay person and she's like, well, do you know them? I'm like, Mom, I don't know all gay people, okay? I don't. I don't know everything that's going on with the gays in this country. I just don't, you know, I mean, I'm a person first, you know, I mean, I'm a person. I live my life. I do my stand-up. I just try to be funny and make people laugh. And, oh, okay, that's happening in the gay community, okay. You know, but back in the day when I first got kicked out of the military, I was very active because I could not believe how this country treats its own people. I mean, an illegal citizen can come in here and be treated better than a gay person could in this country. I mean, imagine, got kicked out of the military for being gay. You could get fired for being gay. You could get, you know, you can't get married. I'm like, what's the big deal? Who cares? I mean, my life, if I'm sleeping with a woman, how's that going to affect you and, you know, your chances?
You have to be an illegal alien to get the red carpet treatment around here.
I suppose so. I suppose so. I'm with you on that. So yeah, I mean, of course I'm a supporter of gay rights, but that's not my life. You know, that didn't turn out to be. I don't know everything that gay people are doing or all their plights or anything like that.
Yeah, so for the record, Vicki Wagner is not the number one authority on what all the gay people are doing on the planet right now.
That's right. I'm not. Tell that to my mother because every time she calls, she said, I just told my friend you would know that. I'm like, well, why would I know that, Mom? I don't know that. Yeah. You know, I don't like dial into the gay hotline. Hello, you've reached the Gay Information Agency. How can I help you? You know.
You're a funny lady.
For the next Dykes on Bikes rally, press 1, you know. For the next fashion tips for drag queens, press 2. And feng shui for fags, press 3. No, I don't know that. You know, the hell.
So what's next for you, Vicki? What are you up to? What do you want to happen? What's happening up? What do you want to happen?
What I want to happen, Tony, is I want my own TV talk show. Kind of like a Chelsea Lately. That is what if you want to know what I want, that's what I want. And, you know,
You're perfect for that.
Thank you. I actually did, I got out of comedy for a while. I took a 7-year hiatus from stand-up because, I'm a diabetic, and I wanted to get myself back on track, and that's how I actually started wanting to become a motivational speaker, because I'm like, I've got to take my stage presence and do something with it. I wrote the book, and my true desire in my heart was I wanted to come back to comedy. So this year, actually, in February, was my first time on stage in 7 years.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you. And I actually... during my time off, I did, as a joke, a web series called Lesbian Knows Best. It was me giving advice to straight people. It's had over 1.5 million views on YouTube and some other, online websites. So that kind of went, but it didn't get picked up. And I'm like, okay, well, what can I do to, get myself in the middle? So right now I have a little local access TV show right in West Hollywood. It's called Brash Babble, and it's me and 2 other comedians, and we're just talking about topics and everything. Right. So my ultimate goal is to take the Lesbian Knows Best, me giving advice, and the Brash Babble with me and the comedians, merge those 2 shows together. And I think it'd be a great show.
Great.
So that's what my ultimate goal is right there.
Okay, good stuff. And you're playing out all over the place. You're just going to continue on with that. Is there any place or anything you want to talk about? Or?
Oh, well, I'm not sure when this podcast airs. When is it going to air?
Probably in the next few days.
In a few days? Okay, well, I already passed the first round of a comedy competitions at the Tap House in Huntington Beach, and I'll be there on September 17th. Right. So if anybody is in Orange County wants to come on out to that, I'll be there. I'm also doing a big charity benefit. Not this Sunday, but was it this Sunday? Yeah, it's actually this Sunday. I'm doing a big charity benefit at the Ha Ha Cafe in North Hollywood. It's for, I got asked to actually come and participate. I'm donating my time for colitis and raising awareness for, the guy who's doing it, his son has this.
I know you do a lot of benefit work.
Yeah, I like to do benefit work because I believe in giving back.
Yeah,
I believe.
Same here. Well, I do a lot of benefit work.
I don't believe that people should be so stingy with, I like to help other people too. Like I love to make connections and help people and do that. So I'm doing that benefit. And then I'm actually just got booked for a benefit in Vegas in October for ACEs for children. So but I've got a lot of shows in between those, but those are my 3 good big shows that I'd like to promote, and I don't know the exact date, but if people go, friend me on Facebook, I'm Vicki Wagner, of course, spelled with an I. They can get my schedule, and I'm actually redoing my website, VickiWagner.com, but it's Vicki-Wagner.com with a hyphen in there.
Twitter, YouTube.
I'm my name on Twitter. I'm Vicki Wagner, and I've got to start getting more on Twitter. I know. Everybody's on me. They said you've got to get more on Twitter.
Same here. I tweet a little bit, but I'm getting better and better at it. We're using Twitter for the show now.
Yeah, good.
So definitely tweet Tony Milazzo Live or Vicki Wagner. What's your handle?
That's it. It's VICKIWAGNER. That's it. I'm at Vicki Wagner. People go, how'd you get it? I got on Twitter really early.
There you go.
And I'm going to start using Twitter more often. And then I, of course, have, like I said, I'm actually mostly do all my promotions on Facebook.
Right.
And I know everybody can't find me on Facebook, but if they're listening and they want to be my friend or, send me a message, I love it. I love it. I get people who send me jokes. I get fans I've never met from around this country sending, hey, maybe you could use this joke, or what do you think of this? And I'm not even kidding you on that.
Oh, that's very cool.
And they're like, I watched your video. This would be perfect for you, Because I've got a lot of stuff online. I've got over 100 videos online.
Yeah.
So.
Well, great. So it was great to have you today.
I'm so happy you had me. I love it. I loved you when I met you. I'm like, this is my kind of guy.
Oh, thank you.
Seriously.
Sweetheart. Yeah, you're a really funny lady.
Thank you.
You're hilarious.
Thank
actually.
you. Thank you.
Very, very funny.
I appreciate that.
Anything else you want to leave anybody with or say while we're out here on the boat? Anything?
Just that, like I said, I'm so happy you had me out here. Marina Del Rey is beautiful. For those of you who don't know, we're on a gorgeous sailboat. There's vodka all around us, and Tony's in his shorts. He's got a little he's sporting a bulge right now, so. Oh. No, I'm just kidding. I just appreciate everybody listening.
I was happy to see her.
Yeah, very, very happy. No, like I said, I guess that rumor about short men is true. And so, and I do want to clear up a misconception. I am a lesbian, but I love men. I love men. Almost all of my friends are men. And people think lesbians hate men. That's exactly the opposite. As a matter of fact, we identify more with men, so our friends are men. So we get together and hang out. Maybe that's why I like so many male comedians.
Oh, right.
I get them. I don't get women who complain and all that. If you're whining and complaining about that, why? Why is that a problem? So there you go.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, I really enjoyed having you today.
I appreciate it. Thanks you.
Thanks for being live and on board.
Thank you.
Okay.
And like I said, your listeners can find me. Just Google my name, Vicki Wagner. Find me on Facebook or Twitter.
Good. So check her out and go to her shows and check out the book. Thank you, everybody, for listening to Tony Milazzo, live and on board. Please subscribe, share this with a friend, comment, rate the show. Catch us on Twitter, Tony Milazzo Live, Facebook, Tony Milazzo Entertainer. You can email us, TonyMilazzo Jr. Thanks, everybody, for listening. From Marina Del Rey Harbor, you've been listening to Tony Milazzo, live and on board. Ahoy.